If you want to blow up our system of government through a revolutionary approach to politicize the courts, which is what left despots have been doing all over the world, that is literally communism. Before I go, you may have missed it, whoever is running the Biden administration, because Joe Biden isn't, because he's mentally unfit, in my view. They put out this program to destroy the Supreme Court of the United States. And I'm dead serious there. They're pretending it's reform. It's the opposite of reform. It's the opposite of reform. It's the destruction of the independent judiciary. The Supreme Court, which, by the way, is not set up by Congress. It's not a creature of the presidency. Obviously, Congress has a role through approval and confirmation of Supreme Court appointees. The president gets to pick them. But it's an independent branch of government, a separate branch of government, set up by the Constitution of the United States. The Supreme Court is. That's where the judicial power is. So here are Biden's so-called reforms that are big lies. They're destruction. So this is one. No immunity for crimes of a former president committed in office. So this is an anti-Trump gambit. So the Supreme Court found the Constitution protects the president and gives him immunity. So he wants to undo that decision, which was thoughtful and correct, with a constitutional amendment that would destroy the presidency. So it's a twofer from the Biden administration. They want to destroy the Supreme Court and they want to destroy the presidency by making it a president liable for being put in jail every time someone disagrees with his policy. And they can get a prosecutor to prosecute him. Term limits. This is the key. This is designed to knock off the black justice on the Supreme Court, who's a conservative that the left hates, Justice Thomas. And it would blow up the Supreme Court and end the Supreme Court as we know it. So if it's passed, and it's not constitutional because the Supreme Court specifically envisions and allows for lifetime appointments, it would change the makeup of the court and remove all the conservatives, remove the conservative majority and turn it into a liberal majority. So that's communism. And then number 3, more communism. Binding code of conduct for the Supreme Court. And I say communism, I know it's literally not communism, but it's the approach. It's this approach to destroy institutions, destroy the Constitution. That is communism. If you want to blow up our system of government through a revolutionary approach to politicize the courts, which is what left despots have been doing all over the world, that is literally communism. That's what's going on here. So when they talk about a code of conduct, what they're trying to do is to put the Supreme Court in a corner where through political charges against them for ethics violations, they can be subjected to investigations that by people who aren't authorized under the Constitution to look at them. Because the Supreme Court is the highest court in the land. How can there be a lesser body that looks at them? Let's go to that ethics violation rule. Congress should pass binding enforceable conduct and ethics rules that require justices to disclose gifts. Of course, Congress doesn't do that, by the way, in a proper way. Refrain from pure public political activity, which is not what they care about, as long as liberals do. And this is key, recuse themselves from cases in which they are their spouses. So now they're punished for their spouses. The left doesn't like women and spouses who do work outside the home. Outrageous. And how's this going to be enforced? By judges the Supreme Court oversees? That's absurd. It can't be done. The Supreme Court is the final judge of its own ethics. And if there's something that is egregious, obviously there's the impeachment method, but there's none of that. No one's violated any rules. No one's done anything requiring recusal. They can scream all they want about it, but it's not true. So this is just a nasty attack on Justice Thomas, Justice Alito, and it's a pressure campaign as part of, I said, a communist pressure campaign to destroy our system of government. They want to pack the court. They want to destroy the legitimacy of the court because the court isn't ruling the way they like. So our country's at risk through this Supreme Court reform process, and we need to take it seriously. And not only, it may not pass because of the politics and, the makeup of the Congress and the difficulty of passing a constitutional amendment, but when you attack the structures of the rule of law, even if you don't successfully get some, changes in the way the court operates, you undermine the whole foundation of the system, which is, again, another goal of the communists. They don't care if it's wrecked. So, even as a disabled Biden cognitively disabled Biden, it's still a dangerous situation in the sense now he's completely a vehicle, an empty vessel for the most radicals, the most radical extremists on the left in government and outside of government. There's nothing they're not willing to say or do, it seems. I mean, they gave these terrorists a pass on the death penalty for 9/11. How's that not extreme? They want to destroy the Supreme Court. How's that not extreme? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.